Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. The 7-star Tera raid event for HYDREIGON is now live in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In today's video, we're going to cover one of the fastest and most consistent ways to take this Mighiest Mark Pokemon down in game. 7-star HYDREIGON will have 2 appearances in Scarlet and Violet. For its first time out, it will be running from the 7th until the 9th of November. It will return a week later from the 14th until the 16th of November. And its second time out, it will be joined by 5-star Blissey Tera raids. To access this event in game, come to your menu screen and then head into your Poké Portal. From here, head down to Mystery Gifts and then check Poké Portal News. This will connect you to the internet and communicate with the servers so that 7-star raid then appears on your map in Paldea. So the build that we're featuring in today's video is going to be Blissey. It is going to have a Psychic Tera typing. The held item here is going to be the Covert Cloak. That is to prevent any flinches, primarily from the Dark Pulse later in the raid. It has that secondary effect to flinch. With this item, we don't need to worry about that. Make sure that your Blissey is set to level 100 and all of its IVs have been hyper trained, so they're all 31. The moveset is going to be Soft Boiled, Calm Mind, Light Screen, and Stored Power. Just make sure that you PP max Stored Power and Soft Boiled. And then the EV spread is going to be 252 EVs in HP and in Special Defense with a Calm nature, and the remaining EVs put into Special Attack. The ability here, not really too important, so Natural Cure is fine. Your Blissey should look like this once it's trained up in game. As always, the build will be down in the description if you want to take a closer look at it after the video, and we will jump into the raid, take on this Mighiest Mark Hydreigon. Now, using Blissey in this raid, you don't specifically need any partnering Pokemon. There are partnering Pokemon that are going to be really useful. God of War is one of those. It's going to help keep your health topped up throughout this raid. It's going to recover you, and you're not going to need to spend turns going for Soft Boiled. Belly Bolt is another one that's going to be useful if you have that. Not necessary though, but it is going to save you a turn where it'll set up Light Screen for you instead. Now, the HYDREIGON going to open with a Snarl. That's going to lower the special attack on everything on our side of the field. Not to worry about that, because we're going to just Calm Mind 4 times to begin the raid with. So that's going to boost our special attack and special defense by 1 stage every time we do it. After we've used those 4 Calm Minds, we're going to be on +3 special attack and then +4 special defense. So we'll just need to set these up, make sure that we stay as healthy as possible. If we're getting below 50% health at any stage, I would just suggest going for a Soft Boiled. There's more importance of keeping an eye on that HP later in the raid, but we'll get to that stage as the raid goes on. And then after this, we're going to start going for Stored Powers just to chip away at our Terastallization to the point where we can kind of maximize damage to get to the next stage of the raid. Now, there are some key script notifications that we're going to keep an eye out for in this raid to get that last Calm Mind set up in this first part. But the shield will go up on around 85% of its HP remaining or the time remaining in the raid. So once that has happened, shortly after it, it will nullify any stat drops it's taken in the raid, which it only does once. And that's on 82% of the time on the raid remaining. Now, we're going to lock in with Stored Powers now as the shield does go up. We're set up with our Calm Minds. And like I say, we're just getting towards that point where we can Terastallize, and that's just going to maximize our damage a little bit. But as I've already mentioned, keep an eye on the HP. There it goes with the notification, nullifying any stat drops on its side. If your HP falls below 50% at any time, I would just suggest going for a Soft Boil. Now, the only thing that can really go wrong in this raid is if a HYDREIGON lands a critical hit. Now, a critical hit can put you in a position where it makes it, I'm not going to say impossible to do the raid with Blissey, but it definitely puts you in a really awkward spot, especially if the critical hit is later on in the raid. Now, the reason why we've got the Covert Cloak item is to avoid any of those flinches, secondary effect that Dark Pulse have, because once we do Terastallize into the Psychic type like we're doing now, it is going to revert to using Dark Pulse, and it will use Nasty Plot twice in this raid. It will on 70% of the raid timer, which will come up soon. It will go for its first Nasty Plot, and then on 55% of the time remaining, it will go for its second one. So essentially, it's going to be +4 special attack. It's already pretty strong. It's a modest nature HYDREIGON as well, so it will be hitting pretty hard. So there's a key important aspect of us needing to make sure that we get a Light Screen set up at the right time and make sure that our health is set up at the right time as well. So that after this Stored Power here, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Light Screen before we break that shield and before that raid timer gets down to anywhere near 55% remaining. So we've got that little bit of a cushion for when the stats on our side are nullified So it allows us to just be able to set up those calm mines a little bit easier once they have been taken away. So there's the light screen. We'll go for that stored power next. And then we'll probably go for a soft boiled after that, but we'll just assess how our position looks after this next turn. So there's the stored power. I don't think this is going to break the shield, but it's going to be very, very close. And there it goes, nullifying stats on our side of the field. Now, the next part is where we need to weave in calm mines. We need to alternate between calm mines, soft boiled for the next few turns, because it is going to be hitting a little bit harder, like you've just seen. So there's our first calm mine after they've been nullified. Then we're going to go for a soft boiled just to get that health back. And this is why it's important to make sure that you've got like max PP on soft boiled. Because 5 sometimes it should be enough, but you don't want to be in the raid and it just not being enough for you. And we're going to double soft boiled at this stage. Actually, no, we don't need to, because like I've already mentioned about the Gardevoir being a really useful partnering Pokemon, it has healed us as we go through. Now, the shield is broken. We're going to drop another Calm Mind here, and this takes us to +2. I say we probably want to go to +3 or +4 here. The raid timer in a really comfortable spot. The next notification that we're looking out for is on 40% of the Hydreigon's HP remaining. There's that second nasty plot being set up, and it's going to set up a Dragon Dance as well. We're healthy enough to go for another Calm Mind boost here, so this puts us to +3, and then one more will put us to +4, and that's kind of important just to boost that special defense stat even further, so we can take these attacks from the Hydreigon. If it does have any status, of course, like it has here with the paralysis, and it does get fully paralyzed, that just helps you out. But the RNG can go both ways. You can come into this raid if you're farming this event over the weekend. You're going to undoubtedly take critical hits while running this set, and that can ruin your day. So at any time that it gets any favorable RNG in your favor, it's going to just take it. So there we go with the stored power there. We're back with +4 on our special attack, special defense. You can see the damage that we're able to do to the Hydreigon. We're kind of able to cut through pretty easily. The raid timer in that nice comfy position. And now a couple more stored powers are going to be more than enough unless we land a critical hit. Just make sure if you do fall a little bit lower on your HP, just to take a turn. You don't need to rush it here, just soft boiled. Make sure that you are as healthy as possible, and then you're going to be able to kind of close the raid out more comfortably than taking it right down to the wire if we weren't to soft boiled in this position. So here is the next soft boiled, one more stored power, and then a follow up with a stored power, and we should be done. But let me know what ball you've caught the Hydreigon in. It is going to be one of those Pokemon that can go on a number of different Pokeballs that you go for. I went for a moon ball with mine. Obviously you can only catch this once per save file, so that is something you're gonna have to just bear in mind. But one more Dark Pulse here, and then one more stored power should be enough, and that is how easy it is to take down this Mighiest Mark Hydreigon. And of course, if you do run through the Hydreigon, you're going to have the opportunity for good high cost items that it does drop, including those all important Herba Mystica. And if you want to respawn the den onto your map, because you only get one after you've defeated and you have to wait a full 24 hours, just hit your home menu, then come down into system settings, down into system, down into date and time, and then just toggle through the date and time options here, and then come back into game, hit your home menu, and all your dens should respawn, and you'll be able to find that 7-star raid den on your map once again, and then head over to it and rinse and repeat this whole process again. If you found the build in today's video helpful, please consider leaving a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel as well to stay up to date with all of our Pokemon content. If you've got your own builds that have been able to take down this 7-star Hydreigon easy, do share them down in the comment section below as well. Good luck taking this Mighiest Mark Pokemon down. Thanks for tuning in, friends, and I'll see you all in another one very soon. So until then, take care and bye-bye.